Hello everyone, welcome to Wendy's Daily News Analysis. Today is 12th of July and today we'll see a quote from a very important from a life perspective. That life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, but I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. So you should adapt in your life. Whatever obstacle, whatever exam you are preparing for, success will come when you come out of your comfort zone and put the correct amount of hard work along with smart work, then only you will be at the top of the success. So today, we'll start our analysis. And today you can get this PDF from Menti IS, but it is not just the PDF you can get from Telegram. Today I will be posting some new articles which has come in various newspapers to give you a perspective on which the question can be asked in prelims as well as in mains. So let's start with the analysis. First news is from General Studies 1 Economic Geography, that demographic transition and change in women life. So yesterday we have seen was World Population Day. And now it is also a time as to see that how India's demographic journey has changed the life of the citizen, and that too, particularly in women's life. So we'll see what the article is all about, that India's population growth has led to significant changes in the life of citizens, especially women, due to increased life expectancy and decline in fertility rate. The preference for son and a desire to ensure that at least one son among fewer children have led to sex-selective abortion and neglect of sick daughter, resulting in decrease in number of girls per 100 boys. And with declining fertility rate, women have more opportunity for education and employment as they spend fewer years caring for young children. However, early marriage and childbearing still dominate women's life. The increasing proportion of older women in population, combined with widowhood and limited access to saving property, leads to dependence on children, mainly son, reinforcing the cycle of son preference. To empower women and break the cycle of gender disadvantage, improving women's access to employment and asset, along with providing safe, affordable care, is crucial, and thus practical strategies are needed. So this is not just from general studies, even for students who have their optional as sociology can expect a question on this article. The next is from General Studies 3 Environment, that what is greenwashing and what changes to the conservation law must be backed by the scientific evidence. So we have all been covering the news and we have been seeing that the Forest Conservation Amendment Bill is a controversial law which is trying to balance industry and forest protection in India. And the existing Forest Conservation Act 1980 was seen as insufficient. So amendments were made to encourage private tree planting and agroforestry. And now the amendments define that which land are considered as forest and allow certain forest area near India's border to be used for strategic purposes without central approval. So now still, this is a controversial amendment which still the Parliamentary Committee hasn't shared their opinion or suggestions yet. Now let's say General Studies 1, India's monsoon mayhem. So you all know that what havoc has been created by the rains and how the damage which has been created all over the northern India. So now we'll see that why or what is the reason that the monsoon in India this year has been unique and different, with a delayed onset and unusual distribution of rainfall. The delayed onset was caused by interaction between typhoon and cyclone, particularly the cyclone Biparjoy, which lingered and delayed the arrival of monsoon in Mumbai by almost 2 weeks. The distribution of rainfall remains patchy, with excess rainfall in northern Western Ghat and northwestern India, while Uttar Pradesh, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra have experienced rainfall deficit. Climate change also plays a role in influencing monsoon pattern as a warmer and more humid atmosphere which affects weather events. Now, the complex nature of Indian monsoon is influenced by various factors, which includes warming, the Arabian Sea, Atlantic Ocean temperature, upper atmospheric circulation, and irregular weather pattern over the Himalayas. So now, what we can do is that improved forecasts are necessary to reduce the surprises which are caused in by this weather phenomena. The next is from General Studies 3 Economy, that what is the legal row which is happening between the farmers and the PepsiCo. So on 5th of July, the Delhi High Court held that there was no merit in the appeal filed by the PepsiCo. But what the case is all about is that the PepsiCo, that is the act which revoked the PepsiCo registration with respect to its potato plant variety, that is FL2027, which is used in the Lay's chip, on the ground provided under Section 34 grounds for revocation of registration, that this FL2027 is a chip and potato variety with low external defect, high dry matter, high solid content, and stable sugar, but all of which make it suitable for manufacture for the chips. But according to the appellant, it was developed in the US by the Robert W. Hoops, a plant breeder and a former employee of the Frito-Lay Agriculture Research. So this is what the controversial case has all been about with the registration purpose of the potato plant variety. The next is from General Studies 1 Economic Geography, that yesterday was the World Population Day, but why the 11th July the date has been chosen? Because it was on that day in 1987 when the world's population is said to have reached 5 billion people. Now these two among 5 Asian nations in the list of the top 10 most populated country are Bangladesh and Indonesia. This Bharat Ratna said almost half of the population of the world lives in rural region, mostly in the state of poverty, by APJ Abdul Kalam. This is the only state to have a sex ratio at birth above 1000, with 1028 is the Tripura. The milestone in human development was reached on November 15. The global population hit 8 billion. This is one of the three major factors influencing population growth is international migration. And you all know which affects population mostly are the pull factors and the push factors. This issue led to global life expectancy declining from 73 years in 2019 to 71 in 2021. The COVID-19 pandemic was the reason which led to a decline. And now we should know from our exam perspective and upcoming exam that till the new census doesn't happen, 2011 census facts, you all should know that which state has a higher sex ratio, which state is the most literate, illiterate. So make sure you go through the census and make your own points and note it down. Now next today in the vocab section, we have the word of the day, rodomontade, which means weigh and empty boosting. Now from General Studies to Economy, the news is that the Supreme Court asked SEBI why was law altered to jettison norm wherein opacity in FPI ownership. So what has happened is that the Supreme Court has asked SEBI to explain why crucial clauses that prohibited opacity in foreign portfolio investment ownership structure was altered in 2018. The court query was prompted by the finding of a committee report that stated that SEBI's investigation into allegation against the Adani Group was hindered by amendment made in the FPI regulation in 2014. Now, the committee has highlighted that removal of provisions dealing with opaque structure has affected the SEBI's ability to probe the ownership of overseas entity mentioned in the investigation. So now the court has sought clarification from the SEBI on the circumstances surrounding this amendment. Let's say General Studies 3 Economy that RBI aims to boost e-rupee transactions to 10 lakh a day. At present, the number of CBDC or e-rupee transactions is 5,000 to 10,000 a day. But now, the aiming of RBI is to increase the CBDC transaction to 10 lakh per day at the end of 2023. Now, from General Studies 3 Science perspective, that why does the nose get blocked while crying? So, when a person cries, the clear fluid is secreted by the lacrimal gland, which can be seen bulging the conjunctiva, the mucous membrane, covering the white of the eye and lining of the eyelid. Now, what this lacrimal duct is an anatomical drainage canal that connects the corner of your eye to the lower surface of the nasal cavity. So when there is a sudden discharge of tear, as is this case when crying, the fluid is poured resulting in congestion. Now we'll start with the Indian Express articles for an exam perspective. So General Studies 3 Science, we know this is a very repetitive news which has been covering because, and there will be news like PepsiCo we have seen, that news will be repetitive. So once you can do that if you're making notes, if you know the issue, you know what the case is all about, that's the only thing you should know from the exam perspective. So now these articles will keep on coming till this ISRO doesn't launch Chandrayaan. So what you have to do is that just make sure that you have a basic idea of the component, why 2 was failed, a comparison. As I have made a video on this also, you'll get the link in the description box if you want to see it again. So just make sure that these points you should be very helpful writing answers. That's what you need for the exam perspective. Next is General Studies 1 Geography from agriculture perspective, that not enough rain in Pulse's heartland and why Arar could face the heat this year. Because Northwest India feels under excess rain, the situation is quite opposite in the two major pulse growing states of Maharashtra and Karnataka. And this is a very good fact which has been provided that according to Union Agriculture Ministry, the total area sown under pulses in the current Kharif season from June till July 9 at 46.32 lakh hectare was 17.9 lower than the 56.43 during the corresponding period of last year. Now, what is the impact of this deficit rainfall? The overall shortfall in pulses area as a result of cumulative rainfall during the ongoing monsoon season from 1st June to July 11, being 23% below the historical normal average in Maharashtra, in Karnataka, in Telangana. And within the pulses, the land can be seen in the other, or the what we call as the Dool or Pigeon Peak, almost having from 19.46 to 10.32 hectare. So the moon acreage has increased mainly thanks to Rajasthan, which received excellent rain. The state has registered area under moon. The country's biggest urad producer, Madhya Pradesh, has seen only a marginal area dip. So first of all, what the data has been given about the state, about the rainfall, and then what is the impact of the deficit rainfall in the state, and even in Rajasthan, how the area, because of the area, the state has registered a higher area under the moon. And Arar is the problem because moong and urad are relatively short duration crop, ready for harvesting within 65 to 75 days after sowing during the Kharif. And in contrast, Arar grows over 150 to 180 days and is harvested only in December, January, unlike September for the other two. So this statement can be as it is asked in the prelims. See students, the purpose of doing the analysis, of providing you facts, what you have to write in mains. So make sure that you make the notes. And at the end of every month, you'll get a compilation of a magazine in the form of current affairs. So there you see that if you have followed a newspaper by heart very regularly, you would never face any issue in retention of current affairs. Because at the end of 1 year, when the exam comes, there will be no problem in like remembering what the news was all about. Because these only articles, after seeing the 2023 prelims paper, we know that prelims, the reading newspaper has become so crucial for a UPSC preparation now. Next is General Studies 3 Economy, that taking digital next steps, but before that, preoccupation with digital only must be challenged. So India's digital acceleration has also created the potential for new divide. For instance, equitable access to technology has increased the divide, the ability to work from home, but still learning outcomes for children during the pandemic. So digital steps, what India has taken, is taking, and what impact it is approaching. Like the State of India's Digital Economy report has also highlighted the role of missing analog foundation that support and drive the digital economy. And as India approaches the 100th year of independence, digital ecosystem will become inseparable from economic growth. Policies and digital strategy of today will have long-lasting impact. Now, last news is from General Studies to International Relations that India explores liquefaction unit in Iraq to convert flared gas into LNG. So, India has initiated the exploratory talk with Iraq. It says the possibility of building facilities to liquefy the natural gas that is flared at the West Asian Country and Gas Facility and transported it as liquefied natural gas to India. So, this is just a one-liner current affair with which country that India is doing, and this is all about the today's analysis. I hope you like the video, so please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Menti Academy.